Okay, so for today's video, I'm going to be talking about how I made about $7,000 to $9,000 a month without a degree. I know that's not like a significant lot of money, but maybe for some people who is making less than $5,000 a month, it's not that bad, right? So that's what I'm going to be talking about today. And if you're watching this right now, and if you're feeling lost, hopefully I can give you some direction that will help you out with your life, or if you want to make some money online, or if you can resonate where you don't have a degree and you want to make about, past $5,000. So that's what I did. So I'm going to be talking about what I did and how I made the income, right? So you do not need a college degree to build a good life. That's my perspective and my opinion, and that's what I did with my life. So I can speak from firsthand experience. So now I'm not going to say that college is bad, because college can be definitely a good opportunity for you to, get a degree and get a good job, especially if you're going to become like a teacher, a lawyer, a surgeon, a dentist, and so forth, right? But for me, I never got a degree and I had to figure things out on my own. And over time, I managed to build an income of around $7,000 to $9,000 a month using skills I believe anyone can learn. In this video, I want to share exactly what I did, what worked and what didn't work, and what I would do if I had to start over again today. So let's get right into it. So the first thing you need to understand, I wasn't a genius. I didn't come from a rich family, just like probably most of you guys listening to this video. Nobody helped me out. I didn't have any connections. I wasn't the smartest person in the room, definitely not. I was just willing to learn skills that people were willing to pay for. That's it. So that's the key, right? So most people spend years looking for shortcuts, and I'm guilty of it too. I was looking for shortcuts in everything that I did, right? And I will blame circumstances, I'll blame my parents, I'll blame my family, everything else, my environment, why I didn't come from a rich family, why, do I have to work hard? How can I get rich? How can I make money? So, essentially, if it was in the past, I would have been happy, even making around $5,000 a month living in America, right? That's the pretty, I think, fruitful amount of money to live on your own when you don't have a family. You can still live like a pretty comfortable life. But fortunately, I was able to make a little bit more than that. Yeah, I mean, the biggest lie I believe was when I was younger, I thought making money was about finding the perfect opportunity, the perfect business, the perfect time, the perfect side hustle, and etc. But obviously that's not true. Making money is mostly about becoming valuable, being valuable to another, person, being valuable in the market, being valuable as a person. I think that is what is essential, right? So we need to focus on that. The more valuable your skills become, the more opportunities will show up. And that's something I wish someone had told me when I was younger, like 18 years old, all the way until like early 20s, right? So the skill number one, I believe, is learning how to communicate. Is very important. So the first skill that helped me make money was communication. So most people underestimate this. So if you can communicate clearly, then you can get better jobs, pass interviews, get other people to like you, close more sales, close more deals, build relationships, create content, network, negotiate, it goes on and on and on, right? So I would say that if you have a good, clear form of communication, then you're going to be able to make more money. And I think that's the honest fact. So communication is one of the highest paying skills in the world, right? So if you look at some of the top, biggest like influencers out there, especially in the sales industry, the business industry, they are very good communicators for the most part. And the good news is that anybody can learn that skill, right? So yeah, teaching English online is one of the ways I started making money online, which was teaching English once again. So now some people hear that and think it might be easy. It's not. You still need patience. You still need patience. You need to learn how to explain things. You need to connect with people. But it taught me a very valuable lesson. People will pay for knowledge. Even if you don't think you're an expert, even if you don't think that you're an expert, if you can help someone solve a problem, people will pay for that, right? And that's a lesson that applies to almost everyone in the business, right? Or that's a lesson that applies to almost every business. So why sales changed my life? The next skill that I'm going to be talking about is sales, right? How sales changed my life. So the next skill that made a huge difference was sales. When people hear sales, they often think of pushy salespeople, but that's not what real sales is. Real sales is helping someone make a decision. That's it. Every business in the world depends on sales. So if nobody buys, the business dies, right? So learning sales taught me confidence. It taught me how to speak to people. It taught me how to handle rejection, and it dramatically increased my earning potential. So if I was 18 years old again, sales is definitely one of the skills I would learn. And you gotta also understand that rejection is normal, right? You're gonna get rejected, once in your lifetime, or maybe 100 times, right? Rejected from the job, rejected in the interview, rejected in business opportunity, rejection from, girls that you try to pursue, or vice versa, guys trying to pursue girls trying to vice versa. So one thing young people need to understand is that rejection is normal. You will get rejected, you will hear no's, and you will fail. You'll apply for jobs and not get them, like I said, and you'll start projects that don't work. And that's part of the process, right? I can't tell you how many times I failed. I failed more than you will ever imagine, right? And many times I wanted to call it quits, but I didn't. And thank God I didn't quit, because if I quit, then I wouldn't be here able to talk about what I'm talking about today. So the people who succeed are usually the ones who keep going longer than everyone else does, right? Without throwing in the towel, and they just keep pursuing whatever they need to do, right, to get to the finish line. And yeah, I want to also talk about why most people stay stuck. So most people stay stuck because they spend too much time consuming information and not enough time taking action. So that's one of the biggest problems, right? They watch videos after videos. They might be reading books after books, but they don't really implement anything, right? They listen to podcasts but they never actually do anything else. So you don't learn confidence by watching videos. You learn confidence by what? By taking action. So action creates confidence and not the other way around, right? And you need to stop looking for passive income. There is no such thing as passive income. It might get easier as you progress and as you set things up and have systems in place and hire virtual assistants for your business, and etc. But you have to put in the work, right? You have to put your foot forward and get into the grind, get into the trenches. This might not be popular, but I think too many young people are obsessed with passive income, being lazy, don't want to put in the work. But there's no such thing as easy money, and that's the truth, right? Unless you come from a rich family or you get lucky, win the lottery, whatever it may be. But for most people, there's no such thing as easy money once again. So if you want to make money while sleeping, I mean, it might be possible later down the line, but from the beginning, you need to eat crap, you need to eat shit, right? And you need to work your ass off. The problem is that, people haven't learned how to make money while awake. So how are you going to be able to make money sleeping? Doesn't make any sense, right? So focus on the active incomes first. Learn the skills, get experience, build relationships, create value. Then later you can think about passive income. And as we live in 2026 right now, the internet has changed everything. When I was younger, the internet wasn't as developed as it is right now. YouTube wasn't as developed as it is right now. Instagram, TikTok, all the social media platforms. But now you can even learn skills, take courses on YouTube and, create content and post it on, Instagram, YouTube, and all these other platforms, and you can make money, right? Which is great. So you can learn almost anything on. You can learn almost anything online. You can start a business online. You can create content online. You can work remotely. You can build skills from anywhere in the world. So when I was younger, these opportunities didn't exist the way they do today, as I mentioned. So you guys should be fortunate. You guys are fortunate. You are living in one of the best times in history to create opportunities for yourself. What I would do again if I was 18 or younger, if I woke up tomorrow as an 18-year-old, here's what I would do. First, I would learn communication. Second, I would learn sales. Third, I would improve my English and writing skills. Fourth, I would start creating content. Fifth, I will focus on one thing for at least a year until I get good at it. But most people quit too early. That's the problem, right? You don't want to quit. Success usually takes longer than what most people expect. So if you think you're working hard, times that by 3 or 4 or 5 or even 10, and then that will probably be the definition of you working hard. Otherwise, don't complain. Otherwise, don't quit until you get through the trenches, and then you pass the threshold of your goals, right? So I would say one of the biggest. So now I'm gonna be talking about mistakes, right? So my biggest mistake. So one of my biggest mistake was thinking success would happen quickly, but I was dead wrong. I thought I would figure everything out in a year, but life doesn't work like that. Most people's stories are built over many years, right? Many years compounding after one another, right? So the people you see writing today, the people you see winning today often spend years struggling before anyone noticed them. Don't compare your beginning to someone else's middle or at their point of success, right? So the truth about making $7,000 to $9,000 per month. I'll be honest, making $7,000 to $9,000 per month didn't happen overnight. It took, I would say, years, right? I mean, it didn't take, traditionally, going to college and, which could take around 2 to 4 years, and then, working 9 to 5 jobs for a long time. Although I didn't go to, college, I did work at some companies, 9 to 5 corporate world and stuff like that. But making $79,000 a month, I made that through sales through online. So I would say it took me about 1 to 2 years, somewhere around the lines, so somewhere around the lines of that. So yeah, but it definitely took a learning curve. It took mistakes, it took rejection, it took trying different things, all the different times, right? So there's no magic formula that just clicks and works at one time. I mean, it can, but realistically, it probably won't, right? But once I focused on building skills ahead of chasing shortcuts, everything started changing. So if you're watching this right now and you're feeling behind in your life, I want to let you know you're not. You have more time than you think. Focus on skills, focus on growth, focus on becoming the best version of yourself. Become valuable in the market, become valuable where people will pay you money for your skills, for the outcome that you can bring for them, for whatever they are looking for. Focus on becoming successful. That's what matters, right? And remember, you don't need to have everything figured out. You just need to keep moving forward. So a lot of people has been asking me how I got started, what skills help me build income without a degree. So I put together a simple step-by-step roadmap showing the exact skills, the jobs, the opportunities that help me along the way. So if you like a copy, comment the word guide below and I'll send it to you. Then if you found this video helpful, subscribe for more videos on career growth, making money online, life lessons, and building a better future for yourself.